Hello and welcome to the Uncapped Podcast, brought to you by Roasthouse Pub, one of Frederick's finest craft beer and culinary destinations, where great people come to drink amazing beer. Visit them to track their taps and menu at roasthousepub.com or download the digital Pour app to track what's on tap. This is episode 86, and I'm your host, Chris Sands. Today, we have a guest from Rockville, Maryland, from Saints Row Brewing, who braved the flood conditions all throughout Frederick to come in and talk to us. Tony Prebula, nailed it, co-owner and brewer of Saints Row Brewing.
How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just excited to be up here. Brought my wife, my daughter. We're hanging out outside, and we're just really pumped to be here and have a chance to spend the morning with you guys.
So you could have brought him in, though, because early on we had Attaboy on, and they had Thomas, their little boy, with them, so you got to hear crying and gurgling in the background every once in a while.
Yeah. Our daughter's about a year and a half. I think she'd be too thrilled to play with all the little gizmos and gadgets you guys got here, and it'd be a whole slew of issues.
Yeah, okay. So you probably did make the correct decision.
Yeah.
So what is there flooding down in Rockville right now, or have you guys?
No, just heavy winds, rains, and whatnot really cooled things down for us. Not as severe conditions, just a lot of wet stuff going on. Yeah.
So faring much better than Frederick is.
For sure, definitely.
All right, so where in Rockville are you?
So we're right there close to downtown Rockville on the corner of East Goody Drive and Taft Street.
Okay.
Yeah. So honestly, about a month and a half ago, the new guys from True Respite opened up just a mile up from us. So
I'll be having them on next week. I decided because I noticed I had Denizens on 2 weeks ago, then a winery, and then I had talked to you. I was like, well, I may as well just finish up Montgomery County now.
Yeah.
So
right on.
Brendan's going to come on next week.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully I can get 7 locks scheduled, and then I'll be done with
Montgomery
County until
for the time being.
Yeah, until I feel horrible. I can't remember the name. The blending place.
It's not the distillery?
No, there's the brewery opening that's also specializing in blending.
Are you talking about Astrolab or Silver Branch?
No. I can't remember the name.
And there's another one, Elder Pine.
Yes, that's it. Elder Pine Brewing and Blending.
Okay, right on.
They're supposed to be opening. I don't know when, but sometime soon also. And then an Astrolab, and so I'll be briefly finished with Montgomery County.
Yeah, it's blowing up, which is pretty cool and exciting.
So let's talk about you for a second.
Yeah.
What were you doing before you decided to open Saints Row?
Well, right before I decided to open Saints Row, I had left my old job. I used to work for a brewery. I used to work for Union Craft out in Baltimore, Maryland. I started with them back whenever they were first opening up, so I came on as an intern. And towards the end of 2011, I was doing a long-distance brewing science and engineering program out of Middlebury, Vermont. And when I finished my program, the guys at Union kind of slowly trained me up and brought me up to be the assistant brewer to Kevin, director of brewing operations. And so I was there from 2012 as a brewer through the very beginning of 2016.
So a great person to learn from.
Very much so. I learned a whole lot from working with them there and really being able to see the start of their business from the ground up, essentially, was a great opportunity. It gave me a little bit more confidence in being able to step out on my own and do my own thing. Great guys to work with, a lot of fun, learned a whole lot. My brewing program was really, a lot book smart type of thing, and it wasn't until I was putting the practical day-to-day things together that it really kind of all came together for me. I was there until 2016. I took a leave to kind of be closer to home. My wife and I were trying to start a family, so luckily enough it worked out. I was gone from the industry for a little bit. I was working part-time teaching and whatnot, but then we just the bug never left, and so I was like, I kind of want to do this for myself, and we looked at the feasibility of opening up our own spot, and we've been open for 7 months now, and it's going great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Rockville?
I'm originally from Montgomery County, so we're still living in Gaithersburg, which is where I originally grew up, and we wanted to have something close to home, and I just love the area. It's where, like I said, it's where I grew up. It's where I knew people. I knew the communities, and I just saw that there was still a kind of a need in Montgomery County.
It's for some reason. Was it harder for a while to open a brewery in Montgomery County? Because that was definitely one area of the state that was kind of lagging behind.
Yeah.
Especially for how densely populated.
Yeah, for sure.
Is.
And, I think the county for a long time had a pretty bad rap about just their alcohol production laws, what they allowed people to do, which is actually getting a lot better. So the county's really starting to come around. There's people behind the industry. People are like really trying to push for making things friendlier for us.
Oh, that's right, because only just recently you were able to self-distribute at all.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So now it makes sense. So we don't distribute anything really. So because of our size, we pretty much produce just enough for on-site consumption. Okay. But we've just started sending kegs out here and there, and it's great because it's coming right off our bright tanks into the truck, and we're taking it over to wherever spot we're going to deliver it to, and it's really good because we're getting that immediate feedback from not just the customers but also the people who are selling our stuff. And so I think that's why we saw that there was a need in the county, and being from there, I wanted to find a way to make it happen. And so it was just kind of the perfect storm of things were working out, the timing was right for us, and the laws were changing. So it was just just went for it.
Now I imagine that is with how busy of an area that is, you must have a steady stream of people coming through the door.
Yeah, we do. It was funny when we first opened up. A couple other local brewers like swung by our spot when we were first opening. Being super supportive as they are, and it was funny. They'd be like, I don't understand it. Why are you guys open Monday and Tuesday? And I'm just like, well, I mean,
because
you're here. You know what I mean? You're here at my bar on a Monday night, and because no one else was really open those days of the week, we're here Monday through Friday, evening hours, and then Saturdays in the afternoon. But we're open 6 days a week because there is just so much of a demand for having a place to go to call your own, and that's something that we really are trying to drive home. We're a small-sized brewery. We really have very, very limited distribution because we wanted to create like a community tap room and a place where people are having their own backyard.
What size brew house do you have?
So we currently, max batch volume is 2 barrels.
Okay.
So our sours will be 2-barrel batches, but then we'll double batch 1.5-barrel batches into our fermenters, which are 3-barrel fermenters. And so we have 4 of those. The 4th one, which we just bought about a month and a half ago because we were selling beer quicker than we were able to make it. So we needed to increase our fermentation volume for a bit.
Now you have, is there one other partner or?
My wife and I are the owners.
Just the
yeah,
two? Okay.
So my wife and I are the owners, but I have a really good team of people who are helping me out. So it's myself. I do all the operations day-to-day, brewing, financial type stuff, reporting, all that paperwork that you don't want to talk about when you talk about going into the industry. But then I have my brother, his fiance, really help out a lot behind the bar. So they're there, and then 2 friends of mine are also helping out behind the bar. So, if you come any given day of the week, you're guaranteed to see me or my brother and one of those other folks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
I wish I had a really good story. Sometimes people ask me if it's a video game. I guess there's a Saints Row video game. I had no idea, but I get that a lot. But really, it was I like the way it sounded, and we really want to create a space where you're surrounding yourself with people you just want to be around. So it's just a place with good people you want to hang out with, drink with, and so hopefully that's kind of makes sense. Saints Row is just a good spot to be.
You should probably just make up a story.
I should. I keep telling myself that.
I feel like it's a name that needs to have a story behind it.
Yeah.
So just
it came
make
to me
something
in a dream.
up.
It came to me in a dream.
There you go.
Yeah.
You just could work it out now. That way there'll be public record of the story.
Oh man. But yeah, so it's been fun though. People are loving our spot, and it's been good times, and we're just excited the reception we've gotten. Because we opened up at the end of September. So, we opened right before fall and winter time, which is usually really slow for industry. But, every month we've just been doing a little bit better, seeing new faces all the time. So, it's been good times.
Yeah, so, wait, Astrolab's going to be in Silver Spring.
Correct, yeah.
I think the Elder Pines, that's in Rockville too, though, right?
I think I've seen their spot. They're actually close to the other farm breweries, Northern County, I believe, because I driven out to Waradaca before and I saw their building, and so they have a building and some equipment. I think they're getting ready to continue working on building that all out, but I believe they're going to be closer to Northern County in the Ag Reserve and whatnot.
You're probably right. I'll look that up real quick.
There you go.
It's in Gaithersburg, so
okay.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Well, it's one of those confusing things. Gaithersburg could be any stretch of
Montgomery
County.
It's either right outside D.C. or all the way up. But True Respite is right near you.
Yeah,
but
a mile and a half from us. Yeah.
I would assume as that's going to help you a lot too, as Montgomery County becomes more of especially that area, Montgomery County, becomes more of a destination for
sure.
craft breweries.
For sure. I mean, we're already starting to see some of the effects. So we typically, like I said, we're open just Saturday afternoons, but come 4:30 Saturday, we're always like, hey guys, like, we're gonna be closing up in a little bit, and next thing you know, whenever I'm leaving, I go over to True Restaurant on my way home to grab a beer or something like that, and the whole crowd who was over at our spot's over at their spot, you know what I mean? And so we're getting a lot of cross traffic, which is great because we just really want to see this area kind of start to thrive. So Brendan and I, Bailey and Kenny over there, we, really good working relationship. When they first opened up, we did a collaboration with them to kind of try to get the whole word spreading that, hey, like, this is really going to be a fun spot to be. It's going to be a destination in the county for alcohol production for sure.
Very cool. Who designed your logo? Because I really like your
Thank
logo.
Thank you. I actually just randomly reached out to a guy who I was kind of not stalking on Instagram, but I like looking. I like design. I like aesthetic looks, and so I like this guy's work. His name is Nick Slater, and he's out on the West Coast. And so I pitched an idea to him. It's like, look, I have this idea for an image. Can you kind of like make it happen? And he nailed it for sure. Yeah, so I like it. It's really iconic. You can recognize the hop and halo from any distance.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's pretty cool.
So from when you left Union, you said it was a year and a half?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, I left at the beginning of 2016.
So did the idea for Saints Row come out shortly after leaving there? Or like, so how long did it take you to go from I'm going to do this to when you open?
Yeah, so
it seems like a much shorter time frame than a lot of people are able to pull it off.
I think one of the things is almost anybody who goes into the business has always had the idea, man, how cool would it be to do my own thing? And so when I left Union, that wasn't a plan of mine by any means to do my own thing. But I'd say maybe it was about 6 to 8 months after I left, I started really thinking about it. And what really helped us out get this all done in such a short period of time was the fact that our operation really is in a much smaller scale as opposed to a lot of other production breweries. Again, like we're brewing 2-barrel batches, so like the build out wasn't as intensive, it wasn't as time consuming as any other large brewery build out would be. And so we were able to turn that over a lot quicker. And because our production area isn't as intense, our permitting, our fire marshal's visits weren't going to be as laborious and whatever. So that's really what helped us out. But I didn't start really, thinking about it seriously until about 6 or 8 months after I left Union. Yeah.
So is the county helpful with with people for opening breweries now?
For sure.
Or is it?
Yeah, for sure. Now, because of where we are, we did work with the county, but because we're actually within the city of Rockville city limits,
has a lot
so we dealt primarily with the city of Rockville. But when we did deal with the county, they were really helpful. But then also even the city of Rockville has been really helpful for us getting up and running. They're changing some current zoning laws to allow us to expand our tap room.
Oh, nice.
So we're not actually zoned as alcohol production. We have a special zoning that we can work under. But so they're working on changing that so we can have a specific zoning for ourselves and other people who want to bring alcohol production to the city as well, because they're seeing it as an industry to get involved with, and it's only going to help. So they're trying to really make that more friendly.
Are you able to have food trucks and stuff there? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, every Thursday during the summer, we have these guys, new hot dog cart, and they're just going to be set out on front, selling hot dogs every Thursday. And then we've started getting the food trucks rolling around more frequently on Fridays and Saturdays. Now that the summer, nice weather's breaking and whatnot. Yep.
And there's a lot. That general area has a lot of other restaurants and stuff too, right? Or
we're just outside of downtown Rockville. So there's a couple really close to us, but then we're making new partnerships all the time. So we have a great new barbecue place that's just been rebranded, which is again about a mile from up the road, and they do free delivery to our spot. We have a really good Italian restaurant that does free delivery to our spot. So it's all about creating a lot of partnerships with the other people in your area, smaller businesses who just want to see each other thrive. So we're working on doing that right now.
Yeah, that's one of the great things where you go someplace and you just have a stack of menus of all the places that, if you can't have a food truck or something, if you have that stack of menus of places that will offer free delivery to there.
Yep, we have a whole bunch of menus.
Helps both of those businesses and you out a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely, exactly that. We have a whole bunch of menus just floating around the brewery right now. Whenever you show up, we got an idea for what you'd eat.
Nice. So let's take a real quick break to thank our partners and sponsors. First, our longtime supporter, Roasthouse Pub. Thank you so much. Coming up in a couple of weeks on May 30th is the Monument City Beer Dinner, which is a 5-course. Every one of their beer dinners is a 5-course meal paired with a different beer for each one. Chef Nico is not only amazing at preparing the meals, but his ability to pair a beer with the perfect course is just phenomenal. So I highly recommend you go check one of those out and then talk to him about being one of the brewers for one of the month's
like
beer dinners. Then in June, it'll be the Flying Dog beer dinner with, wish I could remember the actual name of the sampler pack, but Flying Dog's bringing out a sampler pack of discontinued, their old time beers,
wow.
In Heat Wheat, Old Scratch, Road Dog Porter, and Tire Bite, their old pale ale. So it'll be a 5-course meal featuring those 4, and then also one of the barrel-aged gonzos. I'm not sure if it's the rum or the bourbon barrel. May 31st is the spaghetti dinner battle between Cushwa, who I think is now 3 months in as the victor, versus Smoketown. And then June 20th, there will be a special event with Star Hill Brewing, where they'll have 5 IPAs that are normally only available at their tap room, but they'll be available at Roasthouse Pub. So once again, thank you, Roasthouse Pub, for your support. And thank you to our supporting sponsor, Craft Alliance Packaging Solutions. Craft Alliance Packaging Solutions has been servicing the craft beverage industry since 2012 and prides itself in helping their customers excel in a constantly growing industry. From concept to cooler, CAPS offers solutions to your packaging needs, providing mobile bottling services, technical support, keg repair, rental, bright tanks, and much more. It is their goal to help you grow your brand and your business and make your products stand out. Be different, look different. For more information, visit capsbottles.com. So thank you to the people who helped make this podcast possible. So is that a plan you have eventually to go to distribute and package products as you grow, or do you want to stick to the tap room, like local pub?
We definitely want to continue to be focused on creating a tap room environment and experience for people to kind of come hang out and be with us. Being from Montgomery County, and we, when we first started thinking about, okay, if we want to open a brewery, how do we want to do it? Obviously, our first thoughts were like, okay, production brewery, how does that look? What do we want to do? But at the end of the day, our vision and our goal was really to kind of create an experience for people to kind of come back home, because the county didn't have a lot of stuff like us for a long time. People were going out to DC's, Fredericks, Baltimore's, and whatnot to go enjoy beer, and we wanted to bring people back home. Because like I said, it's where I'm from, so I want to see our communities thrive, and so we wanted to bring people back home and be like, there's a lot in our own backyard that you can enjoy. And so I think even as we continue to grow, which we're still doing right now, like I said, we just bought new fermenters, we're looking to buy a bigger brew house and things like that. Even as we continue to grow, I think we primarily want to be focused on creating an experience in our own facility that you can kind of come hang out. And what that's going to look like, in a year, 2, 3 from now, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're growing. We may need a new spot and make a bigger tap. I don't know. But we really want to be focused on creating that experience. And then after that, look at, okay, we'll start doing little distribution here and there. Again, for the sole purpose of kind of raising brand awareness and bringing people back to us. Yeah.
I see from your Facebook page you plan on having a van.
Yes, we have a van, yeah. Long story short, my wife's car broke down, and it was a little bit of an impulse buy, but we picked up a van, and, I mean, it's going to be our family van, but I was like, why don't I just go ahead and put my logo all over it? It may as well. So we're going to
I'll slap the Uncapped logo
there
on anything.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be called the Lupulin Machine.
Nice.
With good old Scooby in the back, you know what I mean? One of those things. So we got a fun little design that we're working on getting that wrapped with. So.
Yeah, I like the picture that you had posted. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's another local guy. He's not the guy who did our logo, but there's a local artist who's done some of our branding for us. And he's a really cool guy. His name is Tristan George. He comes and hangs out at the brewery. And he came by one afternoon or one evening. We were open and just started like doodling because he's an artist. He just has a sketchbook. And I was like, "You obviously draw." He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Would you be interested in helping us out with some artwork?" And so he's done a couple of different projects with us for fun.
Nice. Yeah. So do you have certain styles that you specialize in, or are you an equal opportunity brewer?
I'd like to say that we're an equal opportunity brewer. That being said, I have styles that I obviously prefer.
Yeah.
If you come on to the brewery, we'll try to have a spectrum available for you of anything. But that being said, whatever people want to drink is what we're going to be brewing. So we will almost always have something sour on tap, a tart or sour, something like that. The New Englands are flying. You know, we sent a keg off-site on last Friday, and it was kicked by Saturday afternoon. So, like, those are really moving well for us, but we're going to try to have a little bit of everything. So right now we have an American red ale. We have a German alt beer. It's called Homage, to pay homage to my former employers and just the education they gave me. So we brewed a variation of an alt beer in our facility. We also have a Petite Saison, which was aged in a Cabernet barrel. And then we also have an Oud Brewing, so a brown sour, which was conditioned on tangerines.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we do a lot of fun stuff. But me personally, you'll see we always try to have some sort of saison available because I love them and I enjoy drinking them, and I feel like people more often than not will overlook them and they don't know how fun and approachable they can be. So we'll have a little bit of everything, but I definitely have my preferences.
So what's your favorite style?
Without a saison, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really forgiving and a lot of fun. You can make them really, really fun and clean, really funky. Like, there's a lot you could do with them. And we've done 3 different variations of our saison. So we have one that's called Apostolic Succession. It's a dry hopped saison with Nelson Sauvignon hops. So it's got a really interesting kind of white wine aroma, grapey kind of flavor to it. Then we took a version of that and we kind of took it up a little bit. So we had an imperial version, which was 8.7%. And it was all Enigma hopped, double dry hopped, and we released that, I guess, about a month ago, and it went really well. We did 2 batches of it, so one of them, the batches, is currently aging in a Chardonnay barrel, and we'll do a bottle release for our anniversary this coming September.
Awesome.
So that should be fun. Yeah, so a big old Imperial Saison aged in Chardonnay barrels will be fun.
You had said that in your break from the brewing industry that you taught part-time for a while. Were you teaching before you started at Union?
No, before I was at Union, I worked in early intervention services. So I was, caseworker, social work type thing. Yeah, but whenever I was teaching part-time, I was a preschool teacher. So it was more like, sit around, play, build blocks, make sure, kids got to eat lunch or something, So it wasn't so much teaching as just being available and helping out in the pre-K class.
I don't think I could ever do that.
It's there was one day where they needed me to cover an 8th grade class, and I don't think I could do 8th grade. That was tough. I'd much rather do the pre-K class because I just get to goof around all day and it's all good.
I don't know other people's little kids. I don't know if I'd be well suited for taking care of them for a day. Yeah. Like I love mine. Other people's kids, I don't think I'd want to take care of them. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good on you.
Other people's 8th graders, I don't know if I could deal with that, man. That was the tough part.
Yeah, I haven't experienced teenagers yet, so I'm sure.
Best of luck.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. That's what my wife's a high school teacher.
Oh,
so
wow.
I figure she's
a saint, my man.
Yeah, she's fully capable of dealing with our daughters whenever they're teenagers.
All right, good on you.
She can handle them. So at that point, had you always just wanted to go into brewing, or were you just that's not what you wanted to do anymore, and that seemed like an attractive? When you left the early.
When I left early intervention to go into brewing. Well, so when I graduated from University of Maryland, which is my wife and I met, I got a job right after college because I was an intern with them during my senior year, and I got a job right away. And then my wife and I got married the following summer. But before we got married, I was looking for a townhouse to move into and all that stuff. And I found one in Greenbelt, so not far from campus. The townhouse didn't have like cable or internet, and being a cheap college student, I wasn't about to be like, all right, let me spend some money on all this stuff. So I picked up homebrewing.
Okay.
And like a lot of other guys, like the bug bit me, and I was hooked. And I didn't really know that eventually I was going to go into the industry, but the more I did it, the more I was like, I really, really enjoy this. Like, I want to learn more. I want to get into it. And after my wife and I got married, I was like, look, I really want to like figure out like how you go about getting into the industry. So I set up a meeting with Tom Flores from Monocacy. Yeah. So I reached out to him randomly just to see if he'd be interested in talking.
So this whiskey that I'm going to make you do a shot of.
Okay.
Tom Flores actually is the person who helped us pick out the hops that would best pair. Is
that the one you guys did McClintock?
Yeah.
The hop and right on, man. Not like I was stalking you guys, but I saw that episode. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, I don't consider that stalking. I consider that sound judgment.
There you go.
People would listen to.
For sure. But yeah, so I reached out to Tom, and he was more than happy to have me come up and meet him. He showed me around the facility. We talked about how he got into it, the best way to go about getting your foot in the door. And when I got home from that meeting with him, I jokingly told my wife, I was like, yeah, I met with Tom, and he says, like, my best bet is to quit my job and go, like, intern at a brewery and just, like, tell them I'm really willing to work for free. And, trying to laugh it all off. But she was like, oh, okay, like, cool, go for it. I was like,
okay,
serious?
sure. I'm
Really?
going to go tomorrow. You said.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you sure? Yeah. So she was cool with it. And again, I mean, we had just gotten married. We were young. We were still. Yeah. I mean, if we weren't going to do it then, when were we going to do it, right? So I left my job, and I left in October of 2011. Wound up starting at Union in December of 2011 as an intern. And again, that's shortly after they'd opened up. So it was like really getting to see everything from the ground up. The growth.
It's a great experience
very much
for you being able to
I mean,
pull from to open your own place.
Definitely. And again, like I got to learn. I mean, it's like whenever people talk about starting in a kitchen, washing dishes, and becoming an executive chef. That sort of thing. I really got to experience every level of growing the business and getting it all off the ground and whatnot. And so I tell people all the time, like, a lot of the success that we're finding is just because of the work and the detail that the guys at Union really kind of instilled in me. Like, they're like, really paying attention to these finer details and taking the time to explain to me why they were going about doing what they were doing, when they were starting up and things like that. So I owe a lot to those guys and helping me find my foot and whatnot and get us started. So
how was it that you were connected to Tom, that you ended up reaching out to him?
I wasn't connected at all. Okay. I just reached out randomly. I saw that I was just looking up breweries close by, and like living down in Montgomery County. Again, there wasn't a lot for a long time really close by.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to Tom up here in Frederick. I wish I could say I remember why I specifically reached out to him. Maybe he's the gentlest looking person I saw. I don't know. Tom's a really nice guy, and
just he's super nice and ridiculously smart.
Yes, yeah. I think that's what it was, because what it was? It's because I was looking at brewing programs, and I believe Tom did one at UC Davis, I believe.
I think you're correct. We've had a bunch of people on that went to UC Davis, but I'm pretty sure Tom went there.
And I think because he did that program, I believe it's what he did. I reached out to him to ask him about his experience, because I was getting ready to apply to different programs. And I mean, long story short, I wound up not applying to that one. My wife and I just got married. I was about to go out to California, but I did do the one which is called the American Brewers Guild, which is out of Middlebury, Vermont.
Okay.
Yeah, really great program. I mean, it's a 6 months intensive online program, but at the end, you do a week residency there. You get hands-on experience and whatnot. So it was good times for sure.
Yeah, I've made 2 beers with Tom. One we did a while ago for the one of the anniversaries for the newspaper.
Okay.
But just recently we made a tart mango IPA with them, and just working with Tom and his method for figuring things out and how just scientific everything is. He's an amazing person to learn from.
He is. Again, so as much as I credit the guys at Union for helping me get started, it wasn't until I had that conversation with Tom was what set me on this trajectory.
And catching your wife on a good day,
catching her on a very good day,
completely okay with you.
She was
going from employed with a salary to employed with no money.
Exactly. Yep. So there's a lot of people we have to give thanks for sure.
Yeah, that's just interesting. I mean, because at that time when you would have reached out to him, Monocacy would have just started, or had it not even opened yet? They
were just getting started, I think. So, yeah. I mean, I honestly, it probably was the summer that they were open, summer of 2011, something like that, or fall of 2011 that I reached out to them. So, I don't remember when they were just getting up and running, but I think
they opened the same year that Union did.
Oh, okay.
So, at that time, it was Brewers Alley,
right,
sister breweries.
Right, yeah.
And so, that was 2012. They opened in the summer of August, almost the same time that Union opened.
Okay.
They opened.
Well, then they missed. Maybe they were still working on getting everything set.
I mean, it had like the plans and stuff were in place for Monocacy at that point.
Right. I remember we met at Monocacy, so it must have been shortly before they opened or something around there.
Cool.
Yeah. They were definitely still working on getting the whole space set up and things like that. So that makes sense for sure.
Yeah, Tom's a great guy.
Yep.
Can't say enough nice things about him.
Yeah.
So actually, your foundation starts with some of my favorite people in the industry.
Yeah. It's funny the way. I mean, that's one of the things that's cool about maybe it's the same way everywhere you go, but at least Maryland brewing.
Oh yeah, everyone is super helpful. Everyone helps each other out.
Yep.
It's a very collaborative,
definitely,
just extremely weird relationship that brewers have with their competition.
They do. It's funny because whenever True Resto was getting ready to open up, they've been working on it for a while and whatnot. We'd have regulars coming in. It's like, are you guys like ready for these other guys to open? Like, are you worried? It's like, not really. I mean, what's good for them is good for us. They're bringing more business to this corridor right through here, And if anything, I mean, it's going to force us to ensure that our quality of product is top notch, because you look at places that are really populated with breweries, guys who have quality beer are gonna survive and stand out. It's not until your quality starts dropping off that you're going to be running into issues. But having a lot of breweries around is going to just force you to have quality product.
Yeah, and it just brings more people to there.
Yeah.
And if going out on a Friday night in Frederick, you can hop around to multiple breweries, and you often the same as what you said, where you'll leave your place and you'll see the same group of people at True Resto.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. Like, people just bounce around between places, and each brewery has its main regulars that tend to only go there, but everyone just bounces around to each other, and there are more breweries in Frederick, which is a much smaller area than Rockville.
Right. Yeah.
They all thrive. So
there you go.
You could have plenty more people down around there and not have to worry about it.
And I think people would be excited to see that.
Yeah.
So
it brings in tourists, as you look to see as a craft beer tourist where you want to go, when you see those clusters of a whole bunch of people in one place, that's a natural place to go there.
Yeah. And I think that's why I was saying, I think Montgomery County and City of Rockville are seeing that, and there's we need to make it friendlier for people to do that if we want to keep seeing this kind of business thrive. Yeah.
So, did you have a good time at the Maryland Craft Beer Festival?
So we were not at the craft beer.
You weren't there?
No. So because we don't do distribution yet.
You didn't.
Yeah, we didn't go, but we had a nice crowd at our spot. So I guess anybody who couldn't get a ticket, I guess decided.
Were you there last year?
No, I mean we just opened up, like I said, about 7 months ago.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people there last year that were in the brewery and planning tents.
Oh, really? Okay, gotcha. No, we weren't. So
okay.
Again, because our product is going so quickly on our own taps, we haven't really sent product out because if I send a half keg out, then I'm without. It's less for me to sell, and also I may lose a tap for 2 or 3 days, and it's just oh man, we've prided ourselves. We've had 6 beers on tap for the last 6 months, and it's I don't want to go down to 5 or 4 taps or something like that. But yeah, we haven't. Again, that's one of the things that we're looking at. I mean, we talk about growth, and we're growing quicker than anticipated, which isn't a bad problem. But we need to manage that and making sure we're taking care of our product out of house before we start sending it away and whatnot. So we're playing a little bit of catch up. Luckily enough, having the new fermenter has really helped us add a buffer into losing beers on taps and stuff like that. But we're still kind of playing a little bit of catch up and looking at ways to keep our volume, up. Yeah.
So in the short time you've been open, have you received any ridiculous reviews that you just look at and have to laugh at?
There's sometimes that...
And what is it?
Yeah, well, sometimes people will come in and they'll be very specific about what they like, or I should say very specific about what they don't like, and then they'll ask for that very thing. So, and I look at that and I'm just okay, I'm going to serve you this.
Yeah.
You just told me you don't like this, though. And then, it's not like I try to scroll through all our reviews, but, as the owner, I want to know what people are thinking. And, some of these people who don't like what they're being served and ask for what they don't like are going to go ahead and review it poorly, and you just scratch your head. And someone says, I don't like funky beers, or I don't like hoppy beers, and I want to try your double dry hop saison. And I was like, okay, you can go ahead and try it. And they go ahead and try it. Next thing I know, there's a check-in on our beer. It's a 1/4 star, and I'm like, oh, that's harsh. I feel like a 1/4 star is what you give something that's putrid.
Yeah,
I've had bad beer. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't infected. It just wasn't your preference, And so that'll happen, but you shrug it off because you're gonna get that every now and then.
Yeah. But nothing that has stung you to the core. Where
Not
the
really.
only way to deal with it, you could laugh.
No. You know what?
Well, I just looked, and you have an average rating of 5, so you couldn't have.
We've been lucky
that
again.
Funny.
We've knocking on wood. We've been really happy with and lucky with the way people have received us. Like I said, because we're really focused in our immediate neighborhood, I think people have really opened up to us. I mean, there's an elementary school around the corner down the block from us, so that whole neighborhood. They come out on Saturdays. There's a line of strollers coming down the corner. People have really opened up to receiving us, and that's something that we've really been grateful and thankful for. And we've been lucky, but also I just feel like I attribute to those finer details that the guys really drilled into me when I was working out in Baltimore.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention and taking care of all those fine details, you're not going to be putting out a bad product. Maybe it's not top line. Someone's like, oh, this is amazing, triple dry hopped, Imperial IPA, whatever it is. But I think because we've really tried to ensure that we take the best care of our products as we can, we've been able to put out quality so far. So hopefully we don't lose sight of that.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one thing that as more and more breweries open up, that if you're not making a quality product, it will hurt you.
It will, for sure, definitely, yeah. But we've been lucky, and we've been having a great time, and I'm thrilled that we decided to open up close to home, because this is where I grew up. My daughter's growing up where I grew up, so it's fun to be back home and doing this in the community that I love, for sure.
So, what is your one of your favorite Maryland-made beers that you do not make?
I can't lie. I love Old Pro, and
So
I love Foxy. Old Pro and Foxy, the red IPA, or before I started working at Union, I wasn't into sours at all. And I couldn't get into them. I had a bad experience with a sour. It was a sour beer that wasn't supposed to be sour. And so it really turned me off to the idea of them. But, in 90-plus degree heat in the summer, whenever you're working in a brewery, and it's canning Old Pro, and then you get a low fill maybe, and say, all right, let me crack that open. Oh, it goes down so easy.
Yeah.
It's I really warmed up to them. So I love Old Pro. It's got a special place, in my heart. I mean, that's where I learned, for sure. And then
I kept going back to the Union tent on Saturday because they had their more rare sours that they were releasing on the
it was
schedule.
an hourly
yeah,
an
hourly release. And I'd get there a little bit too early, and they were like, "Well, it's not on yet. Do you want an Old Pro?" I was like, "Well, yeah,
sure,
okay,
sure, why not?" Yeah, no. So and then their fall red IPAs, another standout for me. And then being in Montgomery County, good friends with all the guys in the county who've come through, and we go and support them. But I'm loving the work Keith's doing over at Moradaka. They brought me over. I think it was Baymore is their double.
Yeah, Baymore's good.
Baymore was really good. I had a really fresh bat. He brought me over a Crowler one day just to have some, and they were hanging out. And it's another quality beer, and so there's a lot of good quality product around our county, and even in the state for sure.
What's I can't remember the name of it now. The one with oranges.
Runway.
Yeah, Runaway.
Runaway. Yeah, Moradaka's right. Yeah, Runway. Yeah, they do
good.
one with oranges. I think they've done one with tangerines and one with grapefruit, I think.
Yeah,
so they're always finding new citrus fruits to throw in there.
The orange one is so good.
Yeah, good stuff.
So we'll take a quick minute to say thanks again to our supporting sponsor, Caps. Be different, look different. For more information, visit capsbottles.com. And now you are the second person to partake in the new tradition of trying the soon-to-be-named McClintock Uncapped collaboration of a hop-infused whiskey. You unfortunately are 2 years early to have the finished product, but you do get to try the unaged version. So everyone, thank you for watching and listening. Thank you for coming on. Cheers. What do you think? Woo. It's got some little.
It's got a little
kick.
heat, but I like the aroma. I guess it's aging in barrel right now, right?
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of that woody aroma off of that.
Well, this has that's just from the. It's a single malt chocolate malt.
Oh, okay.
With UK Golding and Meridian hops.
Oh, that's right. He forgot which hop it was.
Yes.
I remember watching that. What did you say? Was it chocolate covered banana or something?
Yes,
like that? Yeah. I like that. And I'm usually not a spirits guy, but that burn, it burns quick, but my wife would love that too.
Awesome.
Yeah.